hour, 6 hours.
Okay, we're not gonna go that long.
I don't know. It was
I
actually
hope.
long.
Maybe they have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I
Well,
hope
that
so.
shit we
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
really-
You guys did that 2-hour chimp compilation?
No. Stop.
All right. Yeah, just do a little quick clap.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright, you're closest to.
Like how? You guys all got that?
I mean,
all right.
you clapped.
Okay, it's synced. All right,
That's
let's
for you,
do it,
buddy.
dude.
Yep.
This is beautiful.
This is beautiful.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, you finally got us together.
You guys are all here. I know. This is our first, and perhaps last for a while, in-person pod episode.
Yep.
I'm planning to die soon.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. Because we're not all in the same place, but and so we thought for doing this we'd do something special, which is take questions from our viewers. And we teased this episode by kind of starting off with a hypothetical to like test the bonds of our friendship, which is whether or not we would donate a kidney to save the other's lives. So this, and because these are questions coming from our loyal fans and friends, I'll like shout them out using like various pseudonyms we've concocted for them. So this comes from a friend of mine. Her name is The Crusher. And she's like, would you donate a kidney to save your other podcasters' lives?
I do it for the clout.
What clout?
Be like, I saved my friend's life, dude. What have you done? I do it for the clout.
So there's a few things I would think of, right? Which is like, this is a situation in my head where obviously like your family should be first in line to like donate a kidney for you, right? Because they're more likely to. What? You don't.
I thought you meant your family should be first in line for the kidney.
That's what I thought, too.
Wait, you're gonna hold out on your friend who's dying?
Like, just in case my family needs a
my mom
kidney.
needs this.
Papa Luke needs this one, okay? What if Papa Luke needs it? No, it's just like for like compatibility, like blood and like, I'm not a scientist or anything, but like blood and like other compatibility things for like organ transplants, like you have a much higher success rate from a family. But we're just assuming, like, I don't even know your blood types or my blood type really. But like assuming we're a match and like we're compatible, like, and for some reason, like maybe your parents have like health complications and they can't do it, you can't get it from any other family.
They already donated a kidney for their podcast.
Exactly, they donated a kidney for their podcast. Like, do you think you'd go through with it?
Yeah. Stones and all.
Fucking, oh my god, dude! After the donation, I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have a lot more kidney stones. Why are your kidneys so shit?
Baggage on it.
I mean, that's an easy.
Yeah, I feel like
Easy
I would
question.
definitely do it. Like, I don't know. I guess like in reality, there's like the risk of surgery, the fear of like complications. Like you are like kind of risking your life in a way, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I risked my life driving this guy to over here, so like, it's.
I mean, okay, but it's a little different in terms of risk.
But, like, if you just
I
scale
risk
it
my
up,
li-
just like maybe
Yeah.
two
I risk
factors,
my
like, it's
life every
probably fine.
day.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I think I would too. I think it's like a pretty easy decision. I think where it gets interesting is like you have like your list of friends and you go down the list and where does it like stop? Like,
Where's the kidney line?
Where's the kidney line? Like which friend is just like he just didn't make the cut.
Like, I'll donate $50 to their GoFundMe if like they need a new car, But like, go down the line to like,
that's the leap. It's like kidney, $50 on the GoFundMe.
so, like, I'll buy you like McDonald's one of these days. It kind of there's a scale to it.
Yeah, there's a bar.
Like, do you think kidney's the highest? Do you think like killing, like if I would
Like,
kill
no,
for
for
Luke, like would that be?
Donor, like for in terms of things to donate to someone, is kidney the highest, or like are you just talking about general acts that you?
Like
would
general
do to someone
acts, like we could go parts, but that's up for debate.
else? Parts.
I mean,
I
things
don't
happen.
like liver. I think is an easy donation in terms of parts. I think most other parts you have to be dead.
Liver?
Liver, you only have one.
You can donate parts of your liver and
Really?
it regrows. Your liver is like
Okay,
the only
I forgot
organ
about
that
that,
like
actually, you're
individually
right.
like because
No,
it's very
yeah.
homogeneous as a tissue. That's also why like foie gras is.
Sorry guys, I kind of fucked up.
Oh no!
I swapped the battery and then it just died.
Are we still live or should we?
Maybe we'll just do a second cut. You can
Yeah.
just start the
You
topic.
can just cut back into it.
Where-
like let us
where-
know when
And
Yes.
out.
Yeah,
That
because I was
would be-
looking, I'm like,
that would
that's
be
kind of low. I'll
sad.
swap it out right now, and then got it.
We finished. Imagine like the entire time we just sit there and just like, hey.
Yeah,
We have 5 minutes of footage. It's just us saying we would donate kidneys for each other.
Yeah. Anyway, we answered the one question. Good answer, guys. Wait, so you can like peel strips off your liver and give them to someone
Don't
else?
say peel strips off your liver.
I don't.
But,
Hey,
like,
look,
that's
I'm
kind
no
of how it
surgeon.
is, though.
No, like it's basically like because it's like the cells are like very homogeneous as one cell type and they can like basically like go through mitosis, they can duplicate.
Yeah.
They'll like rebuild and regrow to the size they're supposed to be. Like also like cool random fact, when like surgeons do like surgeries on your like guts, like your guts know where they're supposed to be. They'll cut it open, do the surgery, and then they just fucking stuff it back in. They like don't have to rearrange it anyway. The guts will move to where they're supposed to be.
Interesting.
Your body, like your innards know.
It's kind of nasty.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I'm just gonna say my liver list is different than my kidney list
I think
because
you're-
I know some of my friends would put that shit to waste
Like-
real quick.
Like how many times can you actually
Donate your liver.
Yeah.
I don't know because I am not a surgeon or a medical doctor.
Or a
but
liver
talking out of my ass, my assumption would be the limiting factor is like in general, like how many surgeries can you like undergo as a person? Not so much the amount of liver, and there's like timing, right? Because it'll take time to grow back. But
Yeah.
I assume
Surgeons call this the liver of Theseus.
the liver of Theseus. Oh my god. I mean, at what point is it no longer your liver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be a goal. How many of your friends' livers can you get stuffed into yours?
I think it would definitely be a problem if you had like multiple like different livers transplanted at the same
That's
time.
the fun of it.
Dude,
No, I-
liver battle royale.
It's like Fortnite or fucking Apex, but like you have 100 different liver donors all at different spots in your body, and you see which one fucking takes over.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
that's what you do with like when you start tanks, like fish tanks. In particular, you have to get a tank cycled using bacteria.
Yeah.
So you just throw a bunch of bacteria into your tank, and then eventually it's actually like a bacteria.
It's like
battle
survival
royale.
of the
Yeah, like
fittest.
eventually a few of them are gonna end up becoming the dominant one. The others
Yeah.
just kind of die off. So
Damn.
whoever wins. So yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how your liver's gonna be. I'm pretty sure soon.
Okay. Well,
Because you're an alcoholic now, pretty much.
so
right?
yeah, you don't see what we do off the
Yeah.
pod.
What if you take someone else's liver and then you gain their drinking habits?
Yo.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else. I thought you were gonna go. What if you take someone else's liver and then limit test it, like with like, cause you know how they say like, oh, you know, like Russian liver or like certain people like I don't know if it's the liver or if it's like the Asian like genes or what it is, but like a lot of Asian people have like much lower tolerance, right?
Yeah, but that's straight up an allergic reaction to alcohol.
Sure, but I think there are also just people who have like general lower tolerance. I don't know if that's like necessarily with like
I'm a cheap
Asian.
drunk.
If you graft
Cheap
more
date.
liver onto your liver, does your tolerance get higher?
I don't think it works that way. Like I said, the body knows how big it should be.
Well, that first night after you get the liver transplant's gonna be a wild one.
Yeah, I'm guessing like after your like major surgery of a liver transplant, you probably shouldn't be drinking. Should probably wait a little while.
Well, you know, gotta shock it into working.
Oh my god, yeah, all or nothing.
All right, next question.
Next question. So yeah, to summarize that question, would we donate kidneys? I think we honestly would. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, we're young, we're healthy.
Kidney's like the easy thing to donate.
Yeah.
though. You
I donate one of each to
You
you
have
guys.
literally like, dude, that'd kill you.
that's
fine.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, you have two of them.
Yeah.
So it's like you can already give one away.
You have two lungs.
What if we just
Yeah,
swap?
same thing.
No, it's not.
What if we just swap kidneys just for funsies? Would you do it just for funsies?
No, obviously not
It's
just
like,
for
it's like
fun.
the
No,
concept
no,
of
yeah.
mashing a tattoo, but
what
like
if instead of swapping, we like each get one of. So
Okay,
you get
so I have one of Luke's and
one of
Eric's.
I have one of Eric's and one of Teva's.
No,
Oh,
no,
hell yeah.
none of us have our own kidneys.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm down for that.
That'd be really cute. In like
What
a
if-
weird
What if
way.
I start having to pee more because I take Eric's kidney?
Oh no, we're both like, dude, this was a mistake.
What if you guys like I have like yours and Teva's.
Okay.
You have Luke's and mine, and you just have both of mine.
what?
Like that should be medically
That's
reasonable.
cruel.
Yeah,
So-
you'll have to pee at me like 15 minutes.
Do-
I'm sure
do
I'll
you-
have to go at some
Do you
point.
think it's the kidneys or the bladder? Like, do you
Probably
think
just the bladder.
Yeah.
I'm sure some parts both.
you think you have more efficient kidneys and a smaller bladder?
Okay, I don't know if efficient is the word you're looking for. Maybe like actually a problem, but we'll find out whenever we go to the doctor.
Dude,
at
I
some
should
point.
know this. Like, because it's like the kidneys, like they like osmose like liquid out of you, right?
Sure, those are
Into
words you could be saying. Yeah.
I don't know if osmosis is right. Anyway, so to answer the question, yes, we would. Next question comes from, I'm biased, another friend of mine from Portland, who is, we'll call her the Cookie Monster. What is your best or favorite city in the U.S. and why is it San Diego? I think that's a difficult question just because like I'm good with like best or like your favorite, because I think best is very nebulous, and it's also like favorite to visit, one you'd want to live in the most.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of nuances to the question. I think like bar for bar overall, yeah, I think it's probably San Diego. like on the average, both visiting and living, I think it would be my pick.
For living, I don't know.
Like holistically, because I feel like the Bay Area is not a really cool place to visit.
You eat a lot of food.
I want
That's
to say
about it.
food is, I think, the biggest thing.
Yeah,
and
but San
that is
Diego
a big
has
draw
that.
for me.
Yeah,
San Diego does have good food. Is it better than Bay Area food overall?
I feel like it's as good or better. I feel like it's super comparable.
I would still say Bay Area food's better.
It depends on like what Bay Area has like better fine dining for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bay Area has the peaks.
Bay Area.
And I still think the ma and pa shops in the Bay Area are also very good as well too.
That's true.
And I feel like you're not as good as finding the ma and pa shops.
Okay, so it's like it's a personal thing. It's a
personal
it's
issue.
a
Yeah.
player skill
It's
issue.
a skill issue.
Skill
I'm
issue.
sorry.
Okay.
You can't put it on display, but
Okay,
It's true.
is your answer really going to be like Bay Area, like San Francisco, like
Well,
what?
actually, here's the thing. My sphere
Yeah.
and bubble of cities I've been to are
Yeah.
pretty small.
Sure.
By all means, right? And obviously, I'm biased in saying that I like the Bay
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
But as far as like I'm trying to, I don't want to conflate it because I think about San Diego. I enjoyed a lot, right? Especially living
Yeah.
with you guys.
Yeah.
But end of the day, was it good just because of having you guys there and the friends that were there? Because we stayed in San Diego for pretty much a year after we graduated, right?
Yeah.
But we really only did that, at least our logic was because friends were there and we wanted just that kind of gap year, right? And being back in the Bay, we don't want to be back that soon, right? Would we have done that if friends weren't there? I probably would say no.
Like stayed the extra year.
Yeah, like if it wasn't like us city or something like that, I probably would have said no. I probably would have just been back in the Bay, I think.
Yeah, but isn't that also because you have like friends back home too?
That's
like that's
true
a
too,
factor.
right? We're
Okay, so here's my take on why I think San Diego food is better or comparable. Better Mexican, better all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue.
I'll give you that one.
that
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm,
I'll give you that one.
I'm actually kind of doubtful of the better
You're-
Mexican food.
You're gonna fucking flame me for this one. My favorite pho place is still in San Diego.
As it fuck Cali.
Yeah, it's still my favorite.
Fair.
Like
That place was.
It was
that
good.
place
it was really good. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's better on the whole for Vietnamese. I'm just saying like my favorite place is there
Bro,
still.
we literally have a little Saigon in like 20 minutes away.
I know.
Here.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it.
Bold statement.
I'm not.
Are you saying,
That's
are
why
you
I say
saying, specifically, are you saying pho or are you saying Vietnamese food?
pho.
Okay.
Because that's all I had.
And
at
notice
Pho
how he
Cali.
says pho.
Shut
Pho.
up. Shut up. Shut
What
up.
about pho?
Shut up. I look white. I'm allowed to. I'm
Yeah,
allowed
that's
to
fair. You
butcher
get
it,
the
dude.
pass.
Yeah, I get the pass, dude. I don't know. I can't help it. But yeah, I think in terms of like a lot of Asian foods, it's about equal or like the Bay Area edges it out. But yeah, those are like two big ones for me that like just on the whole are like better. I think desserts are comparable. I think boba is tight.
It's tight.
Again, I think Bay Area is more consistent, but San Diego had those peaks.
We know what those peaks were.
Yeah.
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 And I have to agree. I missed your.
Honestly, people should ask us Rex for like where to go in San Diego because there were so many good places. Fucking Camellia Road tea, best milk tea I've ever had. Best tea,
Yeah.
like from a like milk tea shop.
And I think the biggest thing for me was the refreshers they had, which is just
Yeah.
pretty much fruit pulp that was steeped within
Yep.
the tea as well too, and it made think real good tea.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's my argument for why it's at least like comparable. Like there are things that it does better. I think there are things the Bay does better, but you still like you talk about what was it called? What was the chicken and beer place we'd go to?
Cross street.
Yeah, you still talk about Cross Street to this day. You're like, I miss Cross Street. I'm like, see,
Yeah,
I
that's
do
true.
miss some cross street chicken.
I think to go back to the original question, which is like the best city in the U.S. I think if you have a lot of money, it's New York City. But you need to have a lot of money.
And I think you have to
Yeah.
be able to fit in New York City.
You
as
should
well,
be
too.
like the top 1%. And yeah, you need to have like a New York City like attitude.
You really do, because I
Yeah.
feel like if and this is me only having been to the East Coast, New Jersey, and
Yeah.
like New York City a few times. you really have to have a particular mindset if you want to be in New York City. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think, I don't know, a lot of people from California move on to the East Coast, but some of those California people, they do not do well over there at all.
It's really funny. So when I was interviewing for graduate schools, I interviewed at the school Weill Cornell, which is basically like in like I don't know if it's Upper East Side. It's in like Manhattan area. It's not like where Cornell is in Ithaca. It's just called Weill Cornell. And I was being given a tour by some of the grad students, and because like I'm a pretty fast walker, like if I'm on my own, I will just walk fast because I want to get to places faster and I don't want to wait. And so I was like walking at like New York, like street walking speed with the grad students just fine. But because we were being like recruited and there were other people interviewing, there were like packs where we're like a whole block ahead of the other students. And the grad students in charge have to be like, fuck. Okay, guys, we have to wait. And so you could just tell they're like trying to recruit these people to their graduate program. And they're like, we don't give a fuck. Stop walking so slowly. Like there's an energy there. A good friend of mine is currently living in New York. And there's a funny story here. So he used to be really short. Like we were friends since like elementary school. And he used to be really short. And he did not hit puberty until sophomore year of high school.
I thought you were gonna say college. Like,
No,
God
no.
damn.
That is a medical condition and you probably need growth hormones. But like sophomore year, like it was the summer of freshman year. So start of sophomore year, he like got way taller. But we had PE together like for many years before that. And especially freshman year of high school. And we'd like walk to lunch every day. So we like basically traumatized him into doing like twice the rate of footsteps compared to us because he was like, I don't know, probably like under 5 foot at the time. And we were like all like 5 foot.
This is us walking home from school every day in high school.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the problem is he like hit a major growth spurt. And so now he walks at the same rate, but he's like, I don't know, he's probably like 5'11" or something now. He's like pretty tall, or 5'10". I don't know how tall he is. But he's like tall enough that it's like, whoa, you should slow down there, bud. And he was like, you didn't slow down for me.
Yeah,
this
there
day.
were times we legitimately had to tell like, Luke, can you slow down? But then we kind of just gave up because you intrinsically tend to just walk your speed.
Yeah.
And
Luke's a
we
Sigma male.
learned to keep up with that. So all us short-legged ass 5'4", max motherfuckers, like we just learned to just book it whenever we're walking with Luke back home.
I mean, I feel like that's in like high school and like middle school. It's like you don't think about these things. You just do what you do, and you like have privilege. Like he just had tall person privilege.
Yeah.
You just walk at his speed, and he's like, "Wait, you guys are so slow." Like,
I mean, that's why
catch
when
up.
we went hiking, like we always we went really fast when hiking.
Yeah.
Like I know, like when I hike with family members, they're always saying like, "Can you slow down?" I'm like, "Sorry." It's just like habit at this point.
Yeah,
But man,
makes sense,
I don't miss those days. It was very warm walking back home.
dude.
Um,
Yeah, I don't. So what's your final answer for favorite city? You guys both have an
I
answer.
think
so-
it's San Francisco. Like straight
Okay.
up. I was thinking of like
there's a lot.
experiences I've had and places I've been to and places where I was like thinking like, oh, it'd be nice to live here. San Francisco, honestly, every time I've been in SF, it's been a great time. I've gone up for like events. I've gone up just to like hang out with friends, just to do stuff around the city. And sure, like getting around there is a pain. But
Yeah.
It's honestly such a cool place to be. Food's really good. There's a lot to do. There's like a reason why when people come visit like the Silicon Valley or Bay Area,
Yeah.
they end up going to San Francisco to do stuff because there's just so much stuff to do there. And like
Yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
I couldn't see myself living there long term. It would be like very fun to live there for like a year or two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
I'm thinking with you on that. I think my answer is probably Fresno.
Are you
No, it's
serious?
Not, it's not Fresno. It's not
I was
Fresno.
gonna say,
Dude,
what,
I'm partial to Kettleman City.
dude? One of the grad student, like he was a great grad student in my lab. He's graduated now. He's a postdoc, and he's from Fresno. He went to like Fresno State, and he's like, yeah, it's a place.
Yeah,
exists.
It's one of the
It's on the
places
map.
of all time.
yeah.
Now, between that or Bakersfield, that's the hard one.
Oh my god, it's funny. I'm realizing I know so many people who came from random ass cities. A friend of mine, he dated a girl in college who was from Bakersfield,
I'm so sorry.
and he was like, "Wow, you grew up here." This is...
You live like this?
The relationship didn't last, so
Was it after he said that?
yeah. Well, yeah,
Anyone's fault.
yeah.
She was a victim
Interesting.
of circumstance. You can't
Yeah,
blame her.
yeah. But okay, so what's the actual
am
city
I a
and not the
biter?
shitty?
Am I a biter? And just
I
gonna
think
say
you
San
have to be
Francisco?
because you're gonna pick one of our two cities.
Pretty much, right? Just from my experiences, I would say I still prefer San Francisco just because I think there's a lot going for it. Whereas like San Diego, there's very few parts of it that I think are livable. I would say.
Dude,
like,
La Jolla,
sucks.
if you have money
Sucks.
and you're old,
Dude, even then it sucks. The roads in La Jolla are terrible. There's always traffic. in
dude,
La
the
Jolla.
roads.
And there's
The,
college
the
students
parking
everywhere.
lots in SD suck.
I will
yeah.
say you're right. Same is true in like Portland too. I think it's just one of those things where like I don't know why it's so bad in San Diego because like you don't get that much rain. Like I don't know if you get like erosion or shit, but like in Portland the roads are kind of bad, but it like rains all the time.
Yeah.
You have a lot of humidity from the sea salt. and everything like
Yeah.
that, so that
That
does the
might
road
be
things.
part
But
of it.
that's more of like
Yes,
a metal issue than
That
a
makes
road issue. But
It's still like a city like planning and like
yeah,
infrastructure.
I mean it's just one of those
thing,
things where
obviously.
things blew up around way too small of a planned infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
And that's where they had to compensate with things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would probably say San Francisco. I just between those two, just because I think San Diego, like I said, La Jolla is where we were. Because
Yeah, it's where
UCSD
that's where
was.
UCSD is.
But man,
Was.
that place sucks. Like
Yeah.
You-
After we were done.
you
After
would
we're
expect
done.
a place that's a college town to have places that are open up late. No, every place closes at like 8.
They do call it UC socially dead for a reason.
Yeah, and it's
It does suck because the campus, like, you're very isolated from like anything outside the campus. Like, there's no college town
bad. No, there
that
really
goes
isn't.
along with it, unless you have a car.
The thing about college towns, though, is if you're there when college is not happening, then it's dead.
Yes, because it's a college town.
Yeah, but that also just kind of sucks. 'Cause then
It's kind of nice. It's like you're a teacher. You have summer break,
Yeah, like
forced summer break.
I guess.
just thinking about
Yeah.
it, right? Like
Yeah.
when I was there, other than the fact that there was a beach very handily nearby, which I never went once when I was there, realistically. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm a very big food person at the end of the
Yeah.
day, and not having food spots open past 8 kind of blows.
That's fair. I
Yeah.
get that. I have a follow up to this now, which is something you made me think of because I feel like sometimes like timing and like how old you are and what stage you are in your life makes a huge difference for this. Because I feel like a lot of cities that are like I feel like you're right. Like San Diego's probably better reminiscing like in like college times and with like your college schedules. So how do you think that factors in? Do you think like you're leaning towards SF because of how old we are, and do you think like when you're like 65, let's say, the best city for you changes?
dude, when I'm 65, I'm gonna move out into the mountains.
What's your retirement city?
Some
Oh my
city
God.
no one's heard of.
Oh my
have a
Here's the thing,
cabin.
I think the
Yeah.
benefit of San Francisco as well too, and maybe this is a bit of a cop out, is because not the lying cities.
The surrounding.
The surrounding. I was like,
cities.
what's the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for?
Underlying.
Not underlying.
Yeah, surrounding.
But the surrounding cities I think are also just more interesting than the things around San Diego as well too.
I agree. You can
Right.
go. You could go to
There's a
LA.
lot more.
Dude, LA's like 2 hours.
Do
away.
I
LA
want
sucks.
to go to LA? Do
No.
I willingly want to drive? to
Someone,
LA?
someone's
Never.
answer to this question is LA. I don't know who, but someone probably is like LA is the best city in the U.S. I'm like,
And, like I see arguments for it because there's very very
Yeah.
good food in LA.
Yeah,
Really
but
good food in LA. But
all
being
food
in
motivated.
LA raised my heart rate by like an extra 20% past what it
Yeah.
normally should be as a constant level.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, SF is just concentrated.
It kind of is.
It like
It
you
really
think
is.
about anywhere else, and it's like you have to travel so far to get.
yeah,
The same
I think if you
experience.
actually, well, okay, so counterpoint now. So if you actually live in SF, yes, like a lot of things are close by. There's a lot of nice things, but like you're not gonna live in SF. Like it's so expensive, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one of the hard things about it. Like I think you're right that it has some great points, but like cost of living is super high. Hopefully, if you're living there, you're working like a really high paying job. But even then, like you have to live there, and
yeah. I mean, our climbing friend, our friend the climber,
Yeah.
lived in Daly City, which is
Okay,
like just
yeah.
outside SF, and like every time I would be on summer break, I would drive up to his place, and then
Wow.
he would just drive around SF, and that was
a good
great.
job.
yeah, that's fair. When he was driving.
No,
Alright.
I think we're gonna have to stick to our guns.
That's
here and
fair.
say Bay Area, San
Yeah.
Francisco.
2 SFs.
Yeah.
You're slowly swaying me. I'm not sure anymore.
No, I was like literally thinking of like, well, what do we do in San Diego? And it's
Hang out with friends.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
pretty
like
much.
you think about being in like our hometown, it's like it's kind of the same, right?
Yeah, I think they're similar. I think that's
Yeah.
that's why they're like the top 2. Like they offer very similar things. Yeah. Let's see. Let's get some questions from our college friends.
I will say, San Diego has better weather. San Diego has more consistent, better weather, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I do love the mystery of being an SF and not knowing what you're gonna get.
Could be hot as balls and completely raining.
I
on
feel
the
like
seconds.
living in SF, like, isn't it like super like cloudy and foggy a lot?
Yeah,
Like,
it's 65
I'm
degrees
game
and
for
cloudy in June.
yeah.
That sounds nice to me.
It sounds okay. In June, it sounds nice. It sounds less nice like year round.
That's true.
Yeah, it depends. It's just like, I don't know, living in Portland right now, I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to live in a place that has like more consistent sun. Like, I'm realizing like, oh, the sun is nice.
So
I like the sun.
I mean, you say that. I mean, no, like, we're very different on this, and you
Yeah.
guys know my stance on it. I realized yesterday as I was at work, and it was Friday. Today's Sunday. Yes.
Today is Sunday.
Friday. I realized when it was cloudy,
Today
my
is
mood was
Easter.
instantly so much better than
Yeah.
the past 4 days where it was sunny. Like,
Yeah.
my mood is just instantly improved. When
Wait,
it's cloudy.
oh, you're the other way around.
Oh, I'm a complete opposite. I am so much like happier. When
That's
it's
called
cloudy.
sun privilege. You have enough like vitamin D. I don't. I need more.
Do I have enough vitamin D? Don't
I
I
don't-
just sit around all day?
You still get indirect.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, cloudy is for me the way to go. So for me,
That's
when
fair.
you say that, I'm like, sounds like a fantastic time.
Okay, fucking live in Portland. See if I
I
can.
will. I will. Every time you send me snaps of it being cloudy and rain, I'm like, oh god, I wish that were me.
God.
All right, next question.
All right, next question from some of our college friends. It's too many to name, and I'm not going to come up with names for everyone. So we have a couple of them. Question 1, which was asked by multiple people and was kind of odd. If you had to pick one, would you pick video games or board games or pizza? So dude,
That was
okay.
not the third option I was expecting. I'm gonna be honest.
So, yeah, you have to pick one of video games,
Wait.
board games, or pizza, and you can't have the other two.
Oh, you can't. Okay, like
Uh-huh.
I thought the question was just pick one.
Yeah, pick a card. No. Presumably,
Is this your card?
Yeah, presumably it's like you get one and you can't have the other two forever.
Is sleeping an option?
No, that's mandatory. Because you have to pick
Well.
sleeping.
I pick video games because then I play tabletop simulator checkmate.
Ooh, I agree. So I'm gonna modify this question. I want to modify it to fuck, marry, kill. Fuck, marry, kill. Video games, board games, or
Fucking
pizza.
all the time.
I might have to kill.
It's fun, you should
might
try
have
it.
to kill the pizza.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm on killing pizza too. I've had too much fucking pizza. Cause I'm in a graduate school program, and every fucking social event, they just bring shitty cold pizza to every
true.
social event. I'm like, there's good pizza, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I'm pizzaed out. I've had enough pizza. I would kill pizza.
Like, I think I'm with you guys on this because I love pizza,
yeah.
but I don't love it so much where like I would be like giving up to other things that are
Yeah.
have way more variety.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have so many other food options being here in the Bay Area, as we mentioned.
One of our friends just likes pizza too much to pose this question. Someone's overvaluing pizza. Pizza's okay. It's like one
I mean,
food.
don't get me wrong, I love a good pizza.
Yeah.
I love a good pizza, but yeah, I don't know. By the time, like, when I ever get a whole pizza for myself, by the end of that week, I'm like,
What?
look,
Wait, maybe you're eating pizza incorrectly.
Dude, I think he really likes pizza.
Dude, it's
I
like
say-
that meme that's like, help me figure out my budget. And it's like, rent, 600, utilities, 100, pizza, 1,500.
oh god. I mean, you've seen our good old friend
Oh my
from
God.
Texas, who we made fun of him a lot for this. Maybe we'll be able to dig it up at some point. But pretty much what ended up happening, and Teva, I forget if you've seen this. I know
I
I'm
don't
probably
You've
know.
probably
mentioned it.
seen it.
You've probably seen
Yeah.
it. Pretty much, I think this was back in, I want to say middle school. Where
Okay.
he was asked to put out a budget planner.
No. Okay, go ahead.
And as he listed out, we look at it, and you see the list of just costs. And you have like, I don't know, rent, 200. And this is like a middle schooler's perspective, right?
I was gonna say this is in middle school. Who's paying rent in
yeah,
middle
yeah.
school?
So he's just saying like, okay, theoretically rent,
Okay.
utilities, like grocery shopping. And towards the bottom,
You can't laugh to your own joke. You have to finish the story.
he just has pizza, $200 for like an entire month.
every month.
Like for no other food, it's just pizza, $200 at the bottom. And that was it. And like we were all
Wait.
trying to do the math when we saw. We made fun of him so much for this. Like, bro, in what world
Wait.
is $200 for pizza a month?
Wait, my
Like,
head is literally spinning right now. I'm trying to be like, okay, let's just say you order Domino's. It's like, let's say $20 an order. That's 10 times a month. That's like 2.5 times a week.
Dude, alternatively, Little Caesars hot and ready for $5.
That's even more often.
You get 40 pizzas,
Oh,
one a
shit, dude.
day.
So like the entire time
Oh
we were
my
trying to do
God.
this kind of math.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't work. There's no way, dude.
How do you spend $200? So yeah, so we're basically all at this point on killing pizza, and it's
Yeah.
not that big of a loss.
Oh yeah, no.
Who do you fuck and who do you marry?
I have to marry video games. I've already spent too much money. I'm invested in this relationship.
Dude, that's so hard for me.
My Team Fortress 2 backpack is valued at $3,000.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, do you know how much? So like, because of the Counter-Strike 2 announcement, like the whole market's
Oh,
up.
yeah.
You know how much money is in my Steam wallet right now because of that?
Did you go
Are
up
you
to
in
like
triple digits?
$150?
I'm at 200 something.
Holy shit.
Bro!
I sold
shit.
all my loot boxes. I didn't even sell my skins. I have a
Dude.
knife that's worth like 200 also, and I'm like, it's just fucking like. What
That's
the
just
fuck?
free money.
I can't
shit.
picture you selling your gut knife though. I remember when you bought it. You're
It's
like-
not worth that much. It's actually pretty cheap for a knife. That's
That
the
was
sad
part
thing.
of your justification when you bought it too. Literally
much did you get it for?
2014, 2015.
I'm pretty sure I got it for like a little under 100, and it's worth 250 now.
Yeah,
So it's
Yeah,
like,
that stocks.
yeah, return on investment.
yeah.
It's easy math, simple math.
And this is like the nerdiest thing, but like the cosmetics in CS:GO, they have like a pattern, and the way the print is on the skin can vary depending on the skin. So I actually have like a really good gut knife that has like a diamond on it.
Wow.
So like
Ooh.
it's like worth even more. Don't let people know. Yeah.
Now,
Anyway.
to answer the question,
Yes.
I would probably have to say fuck video games and marry board games. Because I think
too.
I think it's just one of those things where it's like,
Video games are like a fling.
yeah, exactly. They're like a fling, right? Like it's kind of something that's like a guilty pleasure, right?
Yeah.
And what is like, a good pleasure than like fucking a mistress, right? So like the video games,
What?
you put it akin to that, right? You marry the board games, a nice wholesome relationship,
Yeah.
and then your like side fling that your kind of guilty pleasure is gonna be your video games that you indulge in.
Now
from
I'm
time to
like
time.
having second thoughts because
That's
the,
not how that works, Eric.
That's how it works.
The fuck is like supposed to be a one
one-time
night stand.
thing.
No,
A
no,
one
no,
night
no, no,
stand.
that's how it works. This is a consistent thing. I'm
A consistent one
is
night
Magic
stand.
is
Yeah,
Magic
yeah.
the Gathering a board game?
No, it's a card game.
I would.
You
I
don't
would
need
say
a
it's a
board
board
for
game.
that.
Well, you do have a board in Magic.
Damn, he got
They,
you there.
they refer to it as the board.
Board. Is D&D a board game?
No, it's a tabletop game. There's no
Yeah.
board. Use
There
a
is a
tabletop.
board. This is why I think I have to marry board game. I think there's too many things that fall under their
Yeah.
umbrella, and like I would be very sad without video games.
But
So
you'd
I'm
be
glad I
even
don't
more
shoot-
sad without sorry.
Luke,
No, not.
do you think you've spent more on Magic or on
Oh.
internet cosmetics at this point?
Probably more on Magic.
I would imagine so. I
Probably
Right.
more on Magic. See, the Magic purchases are more consistent.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also the TF2 backpack has gone up in value. Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad. Do they listen?
No, they don't.
I hope not.
Yeah, no. My backpack went up in value like 50% over the last year.
That's
So,
great. I'm so happy for you.
yeah, man.
Hey, that just means
I've-
that TFT is coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, yeah. Who needs a crypto wallet when you've got backpack.tf?
Oh my god.
Anyways, if you guys
Right.
need any trades, hit up this man on TF2.
No, I'm nothing for trade. I'm keeping the backpack.
Oh my god. All right. I have a follow-up question, which I think is really cool, and this comes from specifically one of our friend. Her name is Spaces, and she said, "What's a cool skill you wish you had put time into learning?"
Oh, guitar.
Damn, that was
Cool
fast.
skill.
Yeah. What's like a cool skill you wish you had that you wish you had put more time into learning?
See, I thought like, is it a cool skill we have or a cool skill we
Oh,
want
actually,
to
that's-
Oh. My interpretation was, I think, Eric's, which is like a cool skill you wish you had put more time into learning. But I'm down to answer both, which is like, what's something, if you have a cool skill that you did put time into, that you're glad you did. That one's harder.
If I could invest time in a skill
Yeah.
that I haven't learned,
Yeah.
I would like to learn how to drift, because I feel like that would
Oh.
actually be a lot of fun.
That's sick. Yeah.
My grandpa was a pilot, so for a while I was thinking like, it'd be cool to learn how to fly a plane, but that's like so controlled. But if you're drifting, that's just like
Dude.
more wild than freeform.
There-
Jesus, take the wheel.
So like the Trash Taste podcast did a special where they like got like professional drifters to like drive them, and like
Yeah.
them walking out of the cars, they looked like they had been like fucking like shook. Like they looked like they had PTSD.
I've seen that exact video.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, it scares me.
Imagine being able to inflict that on someone. Though.
Have you ever
That is
attempted?
kinda
Have
sick.
you ever tried to do it on
no,
a rainy day?
no, because
On a rainy day, no.
because I don't want to try it on a rainy day.
They
like-
have like simulators now.
Yeah, I mean I also know people who have spun out not trying to drift
Right.
and said that was like fucking terrifying.
terrifying. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say it's fun.
Oh dear. Oh no.
So Eric's like, yeah, so a cool skill I've put time into, drifting.
No, like, I feel like it's one of those things where, like, it's an empty road and it's rainy. You might as well throw the wheel and see what happens.
That's how you roll your car, bro.
I mean, not the Integra. The Integra was chill.
That's true.
And it was front.
That thing's
wheel,
built
so.
like a cockroach. Just zooming around, low to the ground.
It is like
You're not wrong. I hate that. I
Aerodynamic,
hate that
yeah.
that's the first time I've heard that, but you're not wrong.
super right.
Survives a nuclear blast.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Doesn't
I
start
mean,
being broken into,
yeah.
though.
Never forget. We
Too
talked
soon,
about that.
too
Too
soon.
soon. We literally.
But yeah, I mean, I think for me, I would say the bigger thing is probably music in general, because
Mm.
I really, really like music, as I've mentioned before.
Mm.
It's something that I never put time to. Like, if I
Yeah.
did ever do it as a kid, I probably would have been a band geek.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a good,
Good
one.
chance.
Those are both good ones. Skill I wish I had that I hadn't put as much time into. I think there are a few, but they're kind of more like simple. Like one is like cooking. Like I like can cook okay, but I kind of wish I was like better and had a better like sense of like, you know, spices and way to season things and had more of an intuition there. Learning a language is like a super easy one. It's like always like you wish you could like
That's-
speak another
yeah,
language.
yeah.
So I'm like half Chinese, and so I grew up like learning a bit of Chinese, and it's like one of those things where like I understand why I didn't learn it fluently, and it was because the Chinese after schools I went to, like all the teachers were super shitty and just all the kids were mean. And I went to like a posh nice white school, and all the white teachers were so much nicer, and I'm like, I like that. So the Chinese didn't stick as much, but I do kind of wish like I was fluent. Like that would be like really sick. It does get me out of a lot of family obligations though, because I like visit China, and instead of like having to talk and do all the social etiquette, they're like, he doesn't speak Chinese, so I just wave, and they're like, okay, hi, and then I don't have to do
like,
anything.
oh, ni hao.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they're like, ah, they freak
Like,
out. They're like,
ah.
oh, you said a thing.
Literally the thing I like understand to a T. Nothing like I hear it, I'm like, yes. It's like, does he speak Chinese? And I'm instantly like, no, I don't. And they're like, but I just, and I'm like,
You're like,
it's all
no.
I know.
That's it.
Well, you also know how to ask for the thin noodles at QQ Noodles.
Oh yeah, I
I
see.
see.
Yeah, oh, shit, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's it. Those are the two things I know.
The two things that'll get you through life.
It's like, this is like a reference, but like, do you remember like Slime on the Scene when he like asked Amsa, like who's a Japanese Melee player? He's like, "Hi, this is the only Japanese I know how to say," and then hands him the mic, and he's like, "Oh, that's great," and he's just like,
No, I like. And this is something I always found really, really funny. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where whenever I talk to some people and they're like, oh, yeah, I don't really speak the language, but I do know this one word, and it's
Yeah.
always the most random ass word, like out of nowhere. Like I was talking to her recently, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I don't really speak Cantonese, but I know how to say cup, which is boy," and I'm just like, "That's hella fucking funny."
"Oh my god."
Oh man.
And then another friend,
Yeah.
they said, "Oh yeah, I like Mandarin is what they speak." But like, oh, I know what a word in Cantonese, and it was just like "bo bao," which is just pineapple bread. It's just like, why do you know this one
Dude,
word?
it's always food.
Oh
it's
my
always
God.
food.
It's like the
It's
food.
always
Yeah.
food.
My old TF2 teammate,
Yeah.
he would go to when he would go to Chinese food with his dad.
Yeah.
His dad would order ice water, but
Okay.
because that was the only thing he knew how to
Yeah,
say in Chinese.
Yeah.
So my teammate, when he would stream, he would have like a redeem channel points thing, and one of them would be like 1,000 points. Speak Chinese, and he would just say ice water.
That's so crazy. You could go, yeah, ni hao, or like, xie xie, you
Yeah.
know, classics, but bing sui.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hella funny.
God,
Oh shit.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about a skill that you have not had that you wish you had?
No, you
No,
mean,
you mean
the other way.
skill that
The skill we
have,
do
that
have.
we
that
wish
you-
we'd
that
invest
would-
more time in.
Oh, that was me for good. That was me for music, I guess. For
Okay,
guitar.
yeah.
It's a skill you have that you wish you invested more
Yeah,
time in?
because I practice guitar here and there, but
Oh.
it's something I wish I practiced more. But as far as things I haven't done, I would probably say the kind of trifecta of snowboarding, surfing, and skateboarding.
Damn.
You know, those are pretty cool.
Yeah, for me, it would definitely be rock climbing. Yeah, it's just what I really feel like I haven't realized my full potential in. So this is the skill that like,
We have and want to get better at.
okay, I guess that was kind of cooking. Like I feel like I can cook, I'm just not very good. Oof.
Am I skilled, guys?
I have no skills.
Dude, that was when you said that. I'm like, do I have a skill? What's my skill?
When I was younger, I would help my dad with like carpentry stuff.
Mm.
I wish I had like tried to keep that up.
No.
But also, when you're a little kid and your dad's like, "Here, hold this," it's not the most engaging way to learn.
No, I'm kind of with you on that because my dad worked as a contractor, right?
Yeah.
And still does work as a contractor. And something where, as a kid, when your dad goes like, "Hey, you want to learn something? You want to get your hands dirty and learn something?" I'm like, "No, I want to play video games."
Yeah.
I do wish, thinking back on it now, that I did in fact take him up on that offer a little more just to learn certain things, right? Because like, I'm good with my hands. We've mentioned this
Yeah.
before. Like, I'm pretty good with my hands and figuring things out just by messing with them. It's just a matter of like application, right? Like, again, I know how to like switch out a tire without ever having to do it kind of thing. Like, I can
Right.
figure that out. But even things like, oh, let's say the plumbing on this is broken. Like, I wish I had more on-hand knowledge with that kind
Right.
of stuff. That is something I do kind of wish I did as well too.
Yeah,
because
but I mean,
it's
like,
useful. It's
when you're
practical.
like 6 or 7 or 8, it's just like you don't care. It's so boring and it doesn't matter to you. But I am glad that you guys were handy because living with you was so nice. Because anytime
Yeah.
something went wrong, you guys were like, "Oh, we can deal with it." I'm like, "Oh,
It's
sick,
easy.
yeah." I'm just like, "No, it's broken. It's done. It's over."
I mean, for rock climbing is probably the skill that I would want to
Improve at the most. Yeah,
just because that has the most effect on my life right now.
That's
and,
fair.
Like,
I get
general
that.
skills. Because I mean, all the other stuff I know I'm going to get better at.
yeah,
But I feel like for something that requires like that kind of technique and
yeah,
fitness and all that kind of stuff, it's like
yeah.
Which, I guess, a quick note. I think
Yeah.
dog training as well too. Just for me. It's
So,
one that I do wish.
I feel. Oh,
I could
interesting.
build up more. as
That
well.
makes sense. I think kind of like similarly, a skill that I'm glad I have, maybe I like didn't like necessarily have to work super hard for it, but I'm very thankful I have is public speaking. Because it's like
Yeah.
one of those things that like, you know, I'm in a PhD program, you have to do a lot of presentations. It's like just a ubiquitous thing you have to do. And it being like not as stressful or something I'm very like comfortable with has made my life so much easier. And there are like multiple people in the program who like love science and are just like, I hate talking in front of people. And it's so frustrating because it's like, oh, you know your science so well. And if you're at like an informal gathering, you like speak so well. But once you
Yeah.
get up in front of the stage, all of a sudden everything like clams up. Yeah.
And like, how do you feel like you are about it right now? Like,
For
do you
public
think-
speaking?
Yeah.
that was
Let's-
always been good.
Let's ask the
I feel like-
viewers
I was
now.
gonna say- no, I feel like, especially last time when we went to your
Your defense.
defense.
Yeah.
Like, it was good. Like,
Yeah.
to the point, especially because you condense everything down to a point where we could actually kind of follow and actually understand what's going on.
The whole point of so I did a master's at UCSD, and the whole point of like a master's thesis and a PhD like dissertation and your defense is it's supposed to be directed to like the general public. Like the general public, people who are not experts in the field should be able to listen to your work and derive meaning from it. And I think that's super important. Like, you know, as a scientist, like you have to get into the weeds and the nitty-gritty details, but you should be able to separate that from like the bigger picture and what you're actually trying to like do and communicate to people. So yeah, I agree. And hopefully, you know, in a couple years when I do my PhD defense, hopefully you guys will also manage to make it there and hear it
that'd
again.
be
That would be
sick.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be excited. But yeah, so I'm super thankful for that. This does kind of weirdly transition to another different question that this is again from the Cookie Monster, which is the weirdest skill you have.
I can juggle potatoes. Let's just leave it at that.
No, you don't want to elaborate?
No.
Nope.
No.
I mean, it is what it is. What else?
It is
more
what
do
it
you need
is.
to know?
There's nothing else to say about it.
Okay. Do you have one? Weird skill?
Yeah, the weird skill that I have, and it's born out of necessity, is
Yeah.
being able to pick up 3 piles of dog poop with 1 poop bag
From big dogs too.
from big ass dogs.
Yeah.
Damn, you're,
That is
you're
my skill.
economic. You're efficient. Okay.
I did that with 2 Great Danes. It's sometimes tied into that as well too. So that is my hidden skill.
Yeah,
I'm
you're-
saving the environment 1 poop bag at a time.
You're a real
Yeah.
sanitation engineer. Yeah.
That and being able to eat a sandwich at the same time.
Oh yeah, you can eat while picking up dog shit. I
That-
remember that.
Also born out of necessity.
Yeah.
That does not seem like it should be a necessity ever.
Yeah, well, it was a crunch in the morning.
Oh no.
We had to take care of a lot of dogs, man. That poop ain't gonna pick up itself, and that sandwich is gonna be in here at some point.
That's fair. I get it. You know, when you're in a
You
rush.
ever do the wrong hand?
You know, can't say I did.
Oh
But
my god.
I'm
that
still
would
here
be
today, aren't I?
awful.
So, you
oh,
know.
I want to think about it. Weirdest skill I have. So I don't know if it's like a skill. It's like more like a weird thing I guess I can kind of do. So I feel like very like I can always stop my hiccups is like the baseline skill. And I feel like some people like have like tricks or whatever where they're like, oh yeah, just hold your breath for 30 seconds, or like surprise you, or like whatever the myth is about like scaring your hiccups away, I can just intrinsically stop my hiccups
Bro, Zen
by
master.
breathing. Yeah, you can call me the Zen master, but like, it's one of those things where I try to explain it to people and it never works for them. But like, if you think about how you breathe, this is again going to be a little biology wise.
Your explanation is just, dude, just try harder.
Have you tried breathing better?
Yeah.
So you have a diaphragm, right? Like your diaphragm is what expands and contracts to like help you breathe in and out. And hiccups are just involuntary contractions of your diaphragm. So if you move your diaphragm manually, if you remove your diaphragm, you die. But if you move your diaphragm like manually, it can't spasm and contract because you're like controlling it. It's like kind of like holding your arm taut.
Right.
That's like the theory. I don't know if it's true, but it works for me.
Teva,
I mean,
if one of your friends needed it, would you donate your diaphragm?
I would never. This
Yeah.
diaphragm is built different. This is the diaphragm of a champion.
I mean, he still has his own hiccups. I think that's
That's
pretty
true, that's true.
quality like diaphragm.
Sounds like you have a little extra there.
If I could,
You could give some.
oh my God.
Got some to spare.
Yeah. If I was good at singing and had lung capacity, I think I would be a legend or a champion because I got that diaphragm control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, karaoke, let's go.
Yeah. Dude, I'm such a bad singer. That was actually another thought for a skill I wish I had. I wish I was better at singing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for like things like karaoke or like randomly jamming in the car, just like not being like so off tune. like just not like hurting people when you sing. Like both my parents, like my grandmother is legitimately tone deaf and both of my parents might as well be. I'm the most musically inclined person in my family. And I suck.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
It
Just learn percussion. You don't need to know the tones then.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you did.
Well, I also just know the tones.
Okay, all right. See, well, the privilege. Yeah. Okay. Well, those are weirdest skills. This next question, is again. Okay, we'll go back to another hypothetical because we've had a lot of like, very grounded questions. So this is a hypothetical, again from my friend in Portland, the Crusher. So you're cryogenically frozen. Okay. Better yet, all three of us are cryogenically frozen at the same time. No, individual pods. You as the individual, wake up first before the other two.
And your wife is being pulled out of the other pod with your infant son.
I
and then they shoot your wife and take the child. You wake up years later, and your son has become the leader of a faction in the wasteland, intent on creating human cyborgs to replace the population.
Put it on paper.
Who do you side with?
We have
Do you
no-
side with them? Do you side with people who are intent on cyborg liberation?
Shit.
And do you wake the other two up and do they join your cause? Do you doubt because Eric is a cyborg sympathizer?
Anyway, play Fallout 4. You can make the decision.
This has just been a Fallout 4 ad this entire
Oh
time.
my God! I was like, this is very detailed, and I'm like, did you come up with this?
Yeah, Luke's not usually that creative.
But the question is actually pretty similar. It's basically you wake up from a cryogenically frozen pod. There are other two still in the pod frozen. And like you just see that civilization around you has collapsed. Everything is like bleak and dead. And you're basically in like a dystopian hellscape. Do you wake the other two up? Do you just like leave and like let them wake up naturally? Or do you like pull the plug on them?
Dude, I love
Question.
Dr. Stone.
Don't.
Oh
Bro, E equals MC squared. Have you heard the news? I've
I-
counted every single day I've been cryogenically frozen.
Second.
Oh,
by the
shit,
way.
you're right, you're
To
right.
the second.
Do
Yeah.
not watch Dr.
So I do
Stone.
have a question.
Yeah.
Am I a virgin?
In this situation?
Mm.
Or like, I can't answer that for you. Like in this situation?
Because that changes my answer.
I don't like what you're implying.
You don't have to think about it. You're frozen.
If,
Like you said, civilization is fucked, right? Like
Yeah,
there's-
yeah.
And like you're the only people on the planet.
us two.
Mhm.
Let's say you're a virgin. What do you do?
Well,
You need someone to wake up. You can't.
I need someone.
You can't die.
I can't die a virgin, not alone. You know.
Okay, let's say you're not a virgin. Let's say
Please, let's go. Not a virgin route. Let's go that way, please.
I hope he wakes you up.
Then
Luke, you know what we have to do.
would I?
Oh.
Depends. Because I don't know, we've said this last time. Like, I feel like starving on like desert island would be fun for a little bit.
Wait, are you gonna chop us up and eat us?
Oh, he would. He's the one who
Well,
would.
I think I would survive with you. I think we'd eat him,
I think
kickstart.
I think that's objectively the right decision.
right?
Well, like, what if you're scared that you can't? Oh, you could probably take Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's the objectively right. Luke has survival skills, and I don't.
And you know, you've got some meat on you now.
Thank you.
so
Thanks,
I
bud. Yeah.
think yeah, it'd be tasty.
Thanks, bud.
make a good
You
meal.
don't have spices though.
I would eat your butt first.
Oh, thank you.
letting you know.
It's fatty.
Patty.
Yeah.
Fatty.
Got a nice cushion.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would wake us up, but you would kill me.
This is like
You
a
wake
sign
up
of
to commit
Mary Kill.
murder.
Yeah.
Hey, Teva, start running.
I'll give you to the count of 10.
Fuck Mary Kill, but Mary ain't an option
Oh
anymore.
my God, Mary is.
Well, actually,
Wait,
yeah, it could be an option. Still.
No, I don't think the sanctity of marriage is being upheld here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know if that's the spirit of the question.
This took a darker turn than I thought it would.
I was thinking it would already be like dark and philosophical. Like, do you bother like waking people up
you
only
just
to
off
like
yourself?
live and stuff? Yeah, do you off yourself?
I mean,
do you
it
off them?
depends on the circumstances of being cryogenically frozen. You know?
Yeah, like for example,
For example,
are you a virgin?
You know that there's women out there.
Yeah.
That's the question, right? Like,
No.
this. You would go on the entire adventure like, bro.
Oh my God.
like,
What if
why?
women though?
Like, why are we being frozen? Are we frozen with the expectation of when we wake up, society will be okay? Are we like, you know? 'Cause
Oh,
if,
that's
if
an
you're
interesting
frozen
point.
of like, okay, we'll be frozen and we'll wake up when we wake up. You know?
What was that movie with like Chris Pratt?
Passengers.
I didn't watch that guy actually.
Yeah, Chris Pratt and
Look, I didn't know the plot of
Jennifer
Passengers
Lawrence,
well
right?
enough to go into the tangent. It was that or Fallout 4.
Yeah, I think it's Passengers. Okay, yeah, it kind of has that vibe. Yeah, it's like things are already shitty. Like we know it's shitty going in, and so
Yeah.
when we wake up, yeah, that's an interesting one. So I can tell you for me, my answer is I would by default always wake up the other person because I want to give them the choice of what to do in the dystopian hellscape.
Can you go back? Like, just put me back in the crowd.
Knock him out. Put him back.
Yeah, you're like, why'd you? Well, that's the other thing is because a friend of mine is like, I'd rather I just get like offed and not have to deal with it, and I
think-
get that.
Dude. Don't think of how sick it would be to be like one of the last people
Yeah.
alive. Doesn't that just sound fun?
Oh my
You
God.
can do whatever
I
the
feel
fuck
like
you
this
want.
is literally us being
Oh
voice actors.
my
Like, yeah, this
God.
sounds kind of like a fun
Dude,
time.
it's
to
just
live.
Minecraft survival
You-
mode,
you just-
IRL.
You just wake up
It's
and you're
hardcore
like,
mode too.
yeah,
it's a hardcore move. Yeah, we're just gonna try, and when we die, we die.
dude, no, that sounds great.
Okay, wait. Okay,
Literally,
what you just
think,
said.
think about it.
What you just said. That's literally just life.
Yeah, there's no expectations of like having to make money.
Oh
You
my
know?
God.
You don't have to work a
Survive
job.
and live.
This is
You
like
just work a life to sustain
Like,
your own life.
think how cool those little victories would be. Like, oh shit, dude, we got fresh water today. Think how hyped
you
that
guys
would be.
literally want to be like farmers and like
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
why not? Like, dude,
Like,
I don't know. I think
content
that's a
pills,
weird
Have
take
y'all
to
watched
be like.
Vinland Saga?
Farmland Saga is sick.
I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
why not live out the
Yeah.
rest of your days at the end of the
be
world?
game
Doesn't
for
that
it,
sound
I
like
agree.
a good way to go?
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Dude, I legit think it would be like a fun ass time.
Yeah.
Honestly-
See, so we're all waking each other up, and then we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
I would only want to be woken. Like I would want to be woken up by default.
After
but
Eric and I have set everything up.
yeah. No, but with you guys, I feel like it would be fun. We'd be like, we're fucked.
Hey, Tevin, can you twist that knob which direction? Right, tighty, lefty, loosey, bro.
We should have kept him asleep. Man.
Should have ate his ass from day one.
Bro, no, dude, there'll come a point where E equals MC squared will matter, and then I'm your guy.
Yeah, dude.
Someone will be like,
I'll have you know, I watched the entirety of Doctor Stone, so I got you guys.
we need your neuroscience knowledge. I'm like,
Shit, wake him
I
up.
s-
We have a question about the mitochondria.
dude, that'd be
shit.
so useless.
Yeah, so we're all on the same boat on that one. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah,
Why not? We
I
ball.
agree. Yeah, fuck it, we ball.
yeah.
Fuck it, we
I mean,
ball.
I don't know. That's. I need to hear more of what your friend's explanation is because
Yeah.
it sounds like if life is difficult, I'll just kill myself. Is the
Yes.
explanation?
That's just called depression.
Yeah.
I think the hypothetical, like the driving logic is like, would you like, let's say there's like no hope for survival. Would you want to like struggle and live on yourself, or would you rather someone just like pull the plug and end it without you ever
it's just
realizing?
Buddhism, bro.
Is it? I don't know.
That's
what type
actually
of-
just Buddhism. Life is a struggle. That's just
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
but yeah.
But life is a struggle that has like a chance of success. We're saying here in this hypothetical that there's no chance of success, or like chance of like finding. I guess there is always a
Bro.
chance of finding fulfillment within yourself.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love myself a hopeless situation.
Yeah.
Dude,
Luke's like, can we do that?
yeah, put me in the cryo chamber right now and wake me up when you're ready.
Oh my god, wake me up when it's ready. Yeah. No, I agree. I want to be woken up, and I
Yeah.
would probably wake up
I'd
others.
be curious at the very least, right? Like
Yeah.
I think I'm quiz enough to be like, damn, what is shit like right now? You know?
Yeah,
And be like, okay, well if this sucks, then fuck it, we'll find out what we can do. You know?
that makes sense.
Yeah.
There still might be cockroaches. Can you eat cockroaches?
There's probably gonna be cockroaches.
Yeah.
Do I want any cockroaches?
Cockroaches and somehow Eric's Integra's still there.
I was literally thinking the same thing. Cockroaches and the Integra. Okay, let's transition to the next. Oh, this question, very open-ended. What are your hottest takes in general?
Junji Ito is overrated.
Oh,
Damn, that came out real quick.
You had the one cocked and
That
ready.
one was marinating.
Oh my god.
Literally?
Okay, well, you tell people who Junji Ito is, because some people might not know.
Junji Ito, acclaimed Japanese horror manga writer, artist. He's also done adaptations of other works. He did an adaptation of Frankenstein. He did an adaptation of No Longer Human, I think, which is an incredibly depressing Japanese story.
Sounds bad if you're no longer human.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's known for Tomi, Uzumaki. And
What's
then
the one where they go into the rocks that are shaped for
that one's
them?
been memed to death.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact
I don't know
one,
the
but it's like
name.
the guy
Yeah.
pointing at the wall. He's like, "This is my hole."
This is my hole.
Yeah.
It was made for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
So I read a lot of the Junji Ito collected stories.
Mm-hmm.
Just wasn't, for one, it wasn't scary.
It's not. I've only read the whole one, and it's not scary. It's more just like creepy and eerie and like off. It's like
Yeah.
weird.
Like, okay, the art objectively good.
Yeah.
I will give Junji Ito that.
I think that's what he's most hyped for. No.
Yeah,
the art
but
style.
the stories took me out of it every time. And whenever he draws like a main character, they all just look the same. They all just look the same. Like literally, it's just the same cut and paste main
Yeah.
character person.
Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Makoto Shinkai?
Dude,
That guy actually.
The fucking girl from Suzume. I don't know if you've seen the trailers. I'm like,
It's
isn't this
literally-
the same person as the one from Your Name?
Like in the
oh, it's that guy.
It's that guy.
Yeah.
Makoto Shinkai. Like, you agree. I
yeah,
know you agree.
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
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 No, like, especially like you know when they did the thing in the trailer where she ties up her hair with the
Yeah,
red? I'm just
yeah, with
like,
the ribbon.
"Alright,
I'm
dude."
like, bro, we get it. You have a type. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that guy, very pretty, very,
beautiful
very
scenery,
pretty,
beautiful
like,
animation.
and
I'm gonna
whatnot.
watch the film. Like,
But man, does the guy really like to play the hits like over
yeah,
and over and
yeah.
over again?
He knows what he likes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Junji Ito, good, respect artistic talent for.
Yeah,
I'm sure a cool dude too.
Yeah, probably a really nice guy.
I would love to have a
Um,
conversation with him and not understand a word. of what he's saying.
yeah, this is the only thing I know how to say in
Japanese.
Japanese. Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that is probably my hottest take. That Junji Ito's.
That's
just
a good
overrated.
hot take, and it. I mean, overrated doesn't mean bad.
Yeah.
It just means overrated. Like
Yeah.
literally, it's like rated higher than you think it should be.
It's,
So I have one. So it's funny because this question was asked by like, what do you want to call this person? You just want to.
Oh, you can just say my girlfriend.
Yeah, Luke's girlfriend. Yeah, I couldn't think of a good nickname.
Yeah.
So yeah, Luke's girlfriend, and then another one of my friends from Portland, again, Cookie Monster, and she was saying, because we talked about this a bit on the podcast, how like I think Popeyes is overrated. But I think Popeyes is low on the fast food tier list. And this one I want to hold out on because I've still not had the fucking Popeyes chicken sandwich. And I feel like until I have that, I can't have an opinion about it because just because their chicken strips and biscuit were shit doesn't mean everything there is bad. But honestly, even tasting the chicken strips, I'm like, this is cheap ass chicken. Like, it's not good quality chicken. I don't know. When I eat chicken at Chick-fil-A, I'm like, this is good shitty chicken, if that makes sense.
Teva hates the gays.
He does. He does.
Dude, I'm so sad. An actual hot take related to fast food though, and this is a hot take for some people.
Oh, In and Out.
In-N-Out. I think In-N-Out fries are unironically good, Just
Oh.
their base fries. I think they're good.
Oh,
That is kind of a hot
It is
take.
a hot
That
take.
is a hot take.
And then I think that's the hotter of the two. And then the second take is I just think baseline In-N-Out is better than like a Five Guys or a Shake Shack baseline. Because I think a lot of people will say like In-N-Out is like so much cheaper. It's like half the price of those two. And I think I agree with that. And I also think the burger is just better. It makes you feel less shitty afterwards.
Okay, definitely better than Five Guys as far as that
Yeah,
metric.
yeah.
Five Guys will always make you feel like you're gonna die in
Yeah.
the next like 5
Yeah.
minutes. Shake Shack, I haven't had enough to really say, but I still
It's
think
fine.
I enjoyed Shake Shack's burger more.
I was disappointed when I had Shake Shack the first time
Mm.
because they charged more than In-N-Out
Okay.
substantially
It's
and
expensive.
gave you less.
Yeah.
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 But I think as like a tasting, I think I enjoyed. It's been hot minute. It's been hot minute, so I would have to have it again to really be able to say it. But
Yeah. You have anything you want to say about the fries, guys?
I mean, it's just potatoes. That's
Yeah.
literally all In-N-Out fries is. It's
Yeah.
just
It's
potatoes,
straight potato.
potatoes that have been fried once.
yeah,
Whereas like a lot of places will
I
fry from frozen, and normally those fries have been fried
do
once.
they
already.
wash the starch out of their potatoes? No, I think they just go cut and then they just immediately throw. them in
You
the
like
frying
see
pan.
the guy like with the
I
hammer.
think it's cut into water.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
think it's. I don't think it's soaked long enough to really like leach the starch out.
Yeah.
I think that's probably part of the issue why I don't like it as much.
That's
it does
possible.
not get a good crunch. I don't think.
No, they're a little soggy. You can get them well done.
But then it's just like it tastes just like a hollow tube.
It's a
of,
raw,
like,
yeah, I agree. I
crunch,
don't like
which
it well done either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like having like classic like soft interior and crunchy exterior, right? And you don't get that from that.
No,
So
but I still kind of like them. They're just very potatoey. I don't know.
Man just
that
likes
is a hot
potatoes.
take.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I know majority of people would say that. Yeah, it's not the greatest fries.
Yeah. And then I mean we've been over this one. I think Last of Us is overhyped. I think I have a more informed opinion where it's like one of those things where if you've played the game and you have nostalgia for the series, you're going to enjoy the show a lot more because the character interactions are what you care about, and then you're watching it knowing who the characters are from scratch. Whereas me watching it for the first time and never having watched the games, I'm like, okay, I don't care that this is like Ellie. Like it's just a little sassy girl. I don't care as
Who's
much.
this sassy little
Who's
child?
the sassy little child? Exactly. So, yeah, that's my take. It's still fine. It's good. And I think it's also like a lot of adaptations of games are historically really, really bad.
Yeah.
And this one's passing. So I think the bar is lower, and that's another reason people are like rating it so highly.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Probably won't ever actually realistically.
That's fair. Same.
Yeah.
But
I'll finish it probably eventually.
and I'm sure we'll get
like
your
a few
word on
months.
it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Hot takes. I feel like all my takes are. I'm a very opinionated person,
Yeah.
but I have very reasonable takes.
You're just basic.
Well, you think they're reasonable.
I think they're reasonable. They're probably pretty hot. Let's be honest. Like if I had to come up with a hot take, I don't know. I would say, like I realized I don't think smoking is all that bad. Like people.
Oh.
Like
That is a hot
not,
take.
Not in the sense of like a health thing. I think like the people who smoke and whatever not, right? Because I realize I have like a few friends who like do end up smoking whatever not. But it's one of those things where I realized it's just like, it's clear like you don't have to tell people who smoke like, oh, don't you know smoking's bad for you? Like,
They know.
exactly they
Yeah.
know, right? But I realized I think maybe this is just part of something where I think about of just like everyone has their reasons for it.
Sure.
And like no one goes into it thinking it's like this is good for me, right? Like I do this
Right.
because I like willingly am like wanting to, right? Like there's
Yeah.
reasons why people do the things they do. And like I realize as I've gone older, like I don't hold that against people as like I probably if I was younger I'd probably be like, oh ew, you smoke kind of a thing, right? But I think now as I've gotten older, I've just been like, oh okay. I'm like I'm kind of curious of like, oh what got you into it in the first place, right? But it's more of just a thing of just like I'm curious as to like what brought them to that point because obviously like it's something where especially as kids growing up here we had a huge campaign of like hey don't smoke.
I think this is one of the best things America has done, and I'm sad we're regressing. I think America, compared to like Europe and like many other countries, did such a good job of like cutting back on smoking, like outlawing smoking from like public places, and really like fighting and like making a lot of like younger people like not pick up smoking. And I think we've regressed, and that to me makes me sad. And I understand like people smoke for reasons, and I think it's valid. And it's like, you know, you're basically addicted to nicotine, and nicotine is a drug, and it mellows you out and chills you out, and that makes a lot of sense in like this super stressful world we're in. Like I get it. I still think it's like bad, and I
It's
don't
still
think
objectively a
I don't
bad
think it makes
thing
you a
for
bad person to smoke.
I think
Obviously,
that's kind of
it's
the
just
thing, yeah.
it's just one of those like. I think you can do things while smoking that are bad, like smoke around people who don't want you to smoke near. You know, be generally inconsiderate.
And which most people like all the friends I know who do smoke, like they're very much
I feel like-
very conscious.
I feel like it's the
about that.
people who vape who are worse about it, honestly.
Did I tell you guys my recurring dream?
No, you have a recurring.
Yeah, okay. This is the most recent recurring dream I've had.
Yeah.
It's literally that I'm a smoker.
Really?
Yeah, literally.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's like the only.
That's the only thing. That's
the-
recurring
Yeah,
theme.
it's a recurring motif in all my dreams. It's just I smoke.
You just think it's cool as shit, don't you?
I don't know, man. Like what's weird is when I'm smoking in my dreams, I can taste it too.
Oh, have you ever smoked a cigarette before?
No, I've been around
So-
smokers though.
Okay, so that you're basically assuming the smell
Yeah.
probably correlates. That's interesting.
So that's another weird thing. I
Yeah.
find the smell of cigarette smoke mildly comforting.
No. Well, maybe you do. I don't.
Maybe I do. Like I'm thinking of it because I know I'm very olfactory as far as memories go.
Sure.
Like, very very much.
I mean,
so.
that's most people have olfactory memories tend to be stronger
Very
and more
strong,
intense
right?
because it's just the circuitry is closer to your hippocampus and your memory
right.
association.
So I know for me, especially because I have very sensitive sense
Yeah.
of smell as well too. So I think I have I won't say good memories, but I just have a lot of comforting things because a lot of people around me used to smoke as kids
Right.
as well too. So it's one of those things where I think maybe that's also part of the reason why I'm just it's not a bad memory, I guess, necessarily per se. It's tied to people that I care about. And I think that's part of it.
I think a lot of people find the smell of cigarette smoke comforting, and it's because of those associations or because they have loved ones who smoked and they associate that smell. I am the complete opposite. When I was a child, my family likes to travel and we go and eat at restaurants, and when we were at Europe, it was a pain for my parents because all the restaurants allowed smoking at that time, in the restaurants, and I would literally not go inside. I was smoking is bad for you. I don't like the smell. I don't want to be in there, and I will not go in that restaurant. And so they had to find either non-smoking sections or restaurants where that wasn't an issue because I was very, very averse to it. And even still to this day, I can deal with it. Obviously, I've walked through cities and you smell smoke, but I still don't like it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the upfront because that's where you're heading. It is in there.
Yeah.
Where, for me, it's more the lingering kind of a sense, right? But yeah, it's when it's up in your face, it's holy shit. I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah. No, I agree. So okay, I think that's a good hot take. That's fair. We have a few more questions to get through. This is a kind of a one that I thought was interesting. This comes from our good friend G Homie. She asks, when watching movies that you understand the language in, do you prefer having subtitles or no subtitles?
No subs.
Probably no subtitles. Watching Tenet with no subtitles.
If it's directed by
that was a trip,
Yeah.
and also it was also literally intentional that you weren't supposed to hear people.
Yeah.
Which is an odd director's artistic choice
I-
because people
oh.
just aren't used to it.
This is another maybe hot take I have, which is just because you're a fucking famous director and super world renowned doesn't mean you're always right about your film
Oh, yeah.
film takes, right?
Especially when they get very up in their own ego. Sometimes
Yeah,
it happens a lot.
Yeah, and I think this Christopher Nolan take, Christopher Nolan, if you watch this, nothing but the best, man. You know, just
Junji, if you ever watch this,
no, but
I'll personally say this to him.
yeah, but it's one of those things where it's that's fair that that's what you want, but you're out of touch with what your audience wants, and I think that matters and is important too. That people just don't not understanding or not knowing what's going on.
So I
in a
will
film.
say, we were talking about this earlier with a separate group of friends. But did you ever watch Dunkirk?
I don't know if I did.
I did.
So Dunkirk was a movie where it was a very interesting experience, right? It wasn't a movie where you watch for a story,
Right.
right? You watch it solely for an experience, right? It was very experiential in the sense of you go in there and you're watching this film, and nothing really makes cohesive sense to an extent, but it's all about the sound design, the actual visuals. I would not have watched this movie outside of a movie theater, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had friends who watched it, and his experience or take was it's a film that doesn't ever let you take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked out of the movie theater, my heart rate was
Yeah.
through the roof. It was very anxiety inducing.
Yeah, it's trying to capture the trauma and
Essence of war.
PTSD of actually being in
Yeah,
a
exactly.
war zone and a war front. Yeah.
So I think that's one thing where I'll give credit where credit's due in the sense where it's not. I don't love the movie per se because I think it's hard to love a movie like that. But in the sense of it actually generated an experience, right? I don't think a
Right.
lot of movies I watched get to encapsulate a feeling like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like
Where-
accomplished its goal.
Like, there's a particular point in the movie where the soldiers are trapped in a boat and shots
Yeah.
are being fired into the boat. You
Yeah.
can't see the actual shots.
Yeah.
You just hear the sounds, and you do see bullet holes coming through
Right.
and them just panicking, cowering in
Yeah.
it. That legitimately was really anxiety-inducing.
Yeah.
Because it's very claustrophobic. It's just the pings, like really sharp
Yeah.
pings of this bullets and all the rounds. And just that in itself was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this is terrifying.
Yeah, and like
Right.
obviously in that situation, like the lack of control, like knowing you might just randomly die any second, and it's like all luck
Mm-hmm.
based on where the bullets go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is anxiety inducing for sure.
But like that's where I think I'll give credit to and say like that was an interesting experience and experimental thing to do, as opposed
Yeah.
to having like a cohesive story.
This is a bit of a tangent, and I'll get back to the subs or no subs in a bit. But I do feel like they're like pieces of media that I have watched that I'm like, this is objectively really, really good, and I actually liked watching it, but I can't bring myself to watch it again. Like it like takes too much out of me. Like it's too hard to watch. The show that most encapsulates this for me, there's like a few, but like there's an anime called Shinsekai Yori or From the New World.
Yeah, okay.
Have you?
Yep.
Okay, you've watched this.
Yes.
It's basically one of those shows which is like it's so dark and like depressing but super engaging, but just like it's like hard to watch. It like takes so much effort to like follow what's going on and like
There's a
deal with
lot
the
happening.
tension and like the emotions and just like it's hard to watch.
It's one
but
of
it's
those-
amazing.
It is one of those shows where too like everything's on screen for a reason. Like
Yeah.
it's very intentionally written and very
Yeah.
intentionally directed, but it is a show where there's a lot going on and
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm agree with you. Like I don't think I would watch a second
Yeah.
like a playthrough.
It's just it's
Watch it.
hard to like watch it again because
Mhm.
there's so much and there's like very dark themes,
Mhm.
as opposed to like some shows that are like bangers that like I'll fucking rewatch like One Punch Man or Mobs, even Mob. Like I would be okay with.
I was
rewatching.
actually watching
Yeah.
scenes yesterday.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Like they're just shows that like they feel good to rewatch and it's like easy to, but yeah, and this kind of in a way ties into subs or no subs because I feel like I watch so much media that by default has subs, being like
Yeah.
anime, like things that are not by default in an English language. And I think because of that, like this has like happened over time, but even like like English films, I like having the subtitles there. I feel like a lot of times, especially with movies, there's like this thing like that I call and probably as a term like movie sound balancing, where it's like sound effects and like noises are so loud and like dialogue is so quiet. And obviously this is like especially bad with Chris Nolan films. But I think in general, like a lot of media has this where like, bro, I want to hear what they're saying. Like, and like if I just read it sometimes, it's like I don't have to guess with words and it's just easier.
The thing is, I read too fast, so I like get ahead of what they're saying,
Yeah.
and that kind of takes the impact out of stuff for me sometimes.
That's
And-
fair.
I'm with you on that. Like it's one of those things where I'm a very visual person, so I prefer reading things. Like if my mom, if
Yeah.
my mom tells me to do something, I'm like, Mom, please just text me.
Yeah.
I will forget. My brain is very empty, and that's where I'm able to dedicate to memory. However, when it comes to watching movies, and my stance on that, like I don't even want something in my periphery, even if it's not
Right.
directly within the actual like screen. I don't want it there because it's distracting for me.
Right.
I feel that way with subtitles where I can live with it, but the moment I turn it off, I feel like okay, now I feel like I can actually like watch the movie.
Yeah, I do get that. It is like one of the things that like it begs your attention in multiple places sometimes.
Yeah.
And if it distracts you, I will say so. For most anime, like I'm so used to it, it doesn't bother me. There's only one show I've watched where like, damn, I wish I was fluent in Japanese to understand this show better. Tatami Galaxy.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it is like a fucking like
Yeah.
fever dream of a show. The narrator speaks so fucking fast, so the subtitles go by super fast, and the visuals are all over the place. It's like a really cool show to watch, but it is also one of those like it's difficult to watch,
It is.
especially if you
The
aren't
first few
fluent in
episodes
Japanese.
in
Yeah.
particular, yeah.
Yeah.
And even if you are fluent in Japanese, you may actually miss out because they
You
speak
probably will.
really quickly.
Dude, sometimes in like shows and like this happened in Chainsaw Man where they're like panning over like text or something, and I'm like, if they didn't have the big ass subtitles like for me in English, like if I was actually trying to read the Japanese, I would have missed that. But because it's in big ass subtitles in English, like I would catch it. So yeah, I could definitely see like missing a lot in like a show that goes that
100%.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you guys prefer no subs. I get that. I think I'm just so used to it now that I like having it. It makes the audio quality easier. But like when you go into movie theaters, there aren't subs and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Final set of questions, and I saved these ones for last on purpose because I thought these were actually some of the most interesting and insightful questions.
I actually have a couple questions
Oh,
first.
oh okay. Well,
If
we'll
we
do
wanna
those
save those
first.
for later. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of my coworkers has a few questions.
Yeah.
One of them is a follow-up to something we had
Yeah.
talked about before. How many times or how frequently do you wash your sheets?
Okay. I thought you were gonna ask something else. Don't talk. To
Did
me.
we answer this?
I feel like I mentioned that I
You
wash my
mentioned
sheets every week,
you
but
wash
neither
them
of you said anything, which was a little
We-
incriminating.
Okay, so I try to do it like, what, once a month? I think that's typically what I go. But there are times where I'm like, because here's the thing, I wash my sheets when I come back home typically.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
If I come back home, if I have time, I'll wash the sheets when I feel like it's time. Sometimes though, I'm like, damn, I don't have time, and I also have to wash my clothes, so I won't be able to do that at the same point, or else I'll miss my like bedtime and I need my sleep now.
Okay, we're also the same because we are both night showers. We go to bed immaculate. We are pristine. And so when we wake up, okay, maybe if it's like hot in the summer, like okay, maybe you sweat a little and you need to wash more frequently. But in the winter, like I feel like my sheets are pretty clean. Like, I don't know. Obviously, there's like general like detritus or whatever. Detritus.
Detritus.
You know that.
Like you're some kind of breaking down ship
yeah.
on the open seas.
Yeah, I don't know what the term is for like all like the skin and hair and like whatever like shit. Yeah, like yeah, obviously there's that. But I don't feel like, I'm like not like get sweating in my bed. It's not like that dirty. This is all to preface that I like Eric. I'm going to say like I aim for, once a month. I've definitely gone 2 months without changing sheets before. It happens. But like it's like one of those things where like you feel the sheet. It's like it doesn't feel like sticky or icky.
Okay,
Oh, do your sheets feel
No,
sticky
no,
or
I'm just saying if it did, like you have a lot of other problems.
Well,
with
that's like
sheets,
I think that'll happen like when I sweat in my sheets, they'll feel that way.
a lot of times I go by smell.
That's fair. Yeah.
A lot of times I go by smell. Because if it ever does start smelling like musky, I'm like, all right, it's definitely time
That's
to
fair.
change those sheets.
Yeah.
Because again, it should normally smell like what I smell like when I get out of the shower.
Smell like shampoo. Yeah. So I agree. In an ideal world, I aim for once a month.
Okay.
And I could see doing it more frequently, and I know you're supposed to do it more frequently, but it's work, man. I'm trying to save the planet with that water, Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Second question.
Yes.
How would you feel about being set up with someone else romantically?
By like a friend?
Yeah, like
Yes.
is this like
By
blind
someone
date?
you know trying to set you up with
Dude,
someone else.
you can just tell who's interested.
No, this just came up as like
Yeah.
a random thing we were
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about at work, and she was like, "Oh, that would be a good question for the podcast."
I feel like if it's a vouch from a friend where it's like, hey, I have someone who like I think you might get along with well and is like looking for someone, I would like almost 100% be down to like go on a date and like meet them.
Depends on
and
that
try.
person's judgment. Depends if I like think that person has good judgment.
Yeah, it's all about the mutual friend. It's the vouch that
Mhm.
counts.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like
Eh.
I'd be game. Like I'm a simp, dude. I'd be game.
Okay,
for
wait,
it.
what do you mean you're a simp? Well,
I'd be like, oh fuck, dude. Women, hell yeah, dude. Sign me up. No, I'd be game. I feel like I'd be game. Like if I trust that person enough and I know they have good judgment in people, I'd be like, yeah, sure.
I feel like it's honestly and it depends because obviously you can miss, but I feel like the best way to meet people, like especially in this modern world, is like naturally and organically. And like, well, this is like half that because it's like coming from a friend. You could all just like hang out as like a group of friends. Like all the friends I've made, basically in my entire life, has been through like mutual friends, right? Like meeting people at events socially. Like it never has worked for me to like make a friend like online, and it works for some people, and that's great. That's good for them. But I've never like been able to make a friend like purely as an online person without having either a mutual friend I know in person
Some
or like some
facilitator,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I think the same is true for like, people I've been like romantically interested in. It's like it happens like naturally, right? Like I think a lot of people, especially in the modern day, like go on dating apps, try dating apps, and they're like feeling it's like, man, this feels so shallow. Man, I feel like I can't connect to any of these people. And it's because you can't, because dating apps don't like capture what like a person is. And so many of the things that people value on like say dating apps don't matter at all once you're in person and like talking to someone. Like this fucking like 6 foot or like leave shit is like only on dating apps. Like
Sounds like something a short person would say. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I think it's one of those things that like I have like a good friend of mine, we'll call him Lazy, is like, yeah, dude, dating apps just don't work for me. I'm like 5'4", they just won't work. Like, and like I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I do think it's one of those things that like is much more frustrating if you're trying to use those kinds of like apps to
They're
facilitate
already
things.
gating you on things
Yeah.
that shouldn't matter.
And it's one of those things where like anytime like you have like had a crush on someone or meet someone in person, like a lot of those like stats that are in dating apps like don't actually matter.
I've been maxed.
Right. What
I'll have you figure out where I'm maxed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you maxing, bro?
But no, like I get you on that though, because I mean, it's one of those things where
Yeah.
like confidence is a really big thing
Yeah.
as well too, and how you present yourself, and just having those things like superficial things, and to be fair, everyone has their preferences, right?
Yeah.
Like 100%. I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily. I think the issue comes from if you get to know someone and you are a good compatible match, but that superficial thing is what's gating you back.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
when I think it is a problem.
I agree.
Right. Because
Yeah.
when I think we mentioned this before, but it's like, you'd be lying if you said that appearances don't matter.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like,
100% believe appearances
There's no
matter.
way it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But it's a matter of, at what point do you vibe and what point do you get past that?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like everything is a continuum and a spectrum. And it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, maybe like in your like heart of hearts, like, man, I wish I had like a 6 foot tall, like Herculean whatever.
Oh, look over here, Teva.
But then in reality, you're stuck with this. And you're like, but like, then you meet someone, you're like, damn, I really like them. And it's just a feeling you get. And like all these things that you think in your head matter, like just don't.
Yeah,
They like
kinda
don't
just dissolve,
really
right?
matter.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I think we would. What if, obviously you're in like a long-term relationship,
Yeah.
but like think like hypothetical, Luke. Like how do you feel about the concept of being set up by your
Oh
friends?
no, I would hate it.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
straight up.
interesting.
Why?
You don't know me better than I know myself. Like, look, it's fair if it's like a group of people hanging out
Yeah.
and it's like organic, and your
Yeah.
friend thinks like, oh, maybe Luke will click with this person.
Yeah.
And it's another thing if your friend goes, hey, meet this person. I think you would get along great. You know, it's like having that kind of imposed expectation immediately makes me be like, I don't like this.
Oh,
And that's just a me thing.
that's totally fair. I also agree. Like it kind of, I guess, depends on the context and like the age. I feel like
Yeah.
if you're like, I don't know, and I don't want to like make people feel bad about anything, but I feel like there's like certain like timings where people like start getting more worried and anxious. Like let's just take like a very, in my head, like somewhat extreme example. Like let's say you're like in your 40s and you're like, I want a lifetime partner
Right.
in my 40s.
Yeah.
You're gonna approach things differently than if you're in your mid 20s.
Yeah,
And in that
yeah.
situation, I'd be like, yeah, just set us up on a date. Let's do our thing.
Right.
I agree that I would rather be like, why don't we just all hang out?
Yeah, I mean,
And,
if,
like,
if it's like an unsolicited, like
Yeah.
if I'm not mentioning to my, like in this hypothetical world,
Yeah.
if I wasn't mentioning to my friends that I was looking and
Yeah.
they're trying to set me up with someone, it would
Yeah.
feel weird to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do agree with that.
But if they knew I was looking and they brought it up, I would approach it differently.
Dude, it's so funny. There's a grad student in the program I'm in, and she is like in a super long-term steady relationship, and her partner, her boyfriend, has a sister who she has been trying to set up with random men for like the past 6 months. She's like, this is my purpose in life. She met this guy at the gym who's also going to like OHSU.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, like, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And she literally, we have like a weekly bachelor watch night. And she tried to get him to come to the bachelor watch night and also get her partner's sister to come
But
does
this sister know that it's happening?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Is
have
the
to
sister
know.
okay with it?
I think the sister's
Okay,
okay with
okay,
it.
okay. That's
I
so
don't
bad.
think the guy knows it's happening.
Yeah, okay, well that's different.
Yeah,
yeah.
But then that didn't work out, and so now she's like, they go skiing, and she's like, if I see a hot like ski lift guy, I'll start randomly complimenting you, be like, oh my god, that 360 spin you did the last.
Oh my
Hey, get
God.
you the homie that's gonna wingman. for you,
Honestly,
you know?
she
that's-
loves wingmanning.
That's it's different.
It's
I would
different.
say.
It's different.
I
for
feel like
sure.
there's like a lighter like
Yeah.
sense there. I'm just like it's kind of more fun than anything
Yeah,
else.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
not.
totally.
It's not like do or die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that answers the question. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Like, again, it's all about the vouch.
Mhm.
It's all about the vouch. Like, Luke, if you came to me and like, Teva, there's a person I really want you to meet. I think she'd be great for you. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't approach it the same
And,
way.
and
I'd
then
be like,
and then
"No."
it's just you and me at dinner, and you're like,
Teva, I'd like to introduce myself.
oh man, that would be
Alright.
funny.
Yeah. Any other follow?
No, just those questions.
Those were the questions.
Those are the
Oh,
questions.
okay. Well, those are good questions, honestly.
Pretty sure there's. Oh God, I hope I didn't forget questions.
Yeah, you're a bad coworker.
Well,
It's fine. They can comment in the video and ask the questions, and
and
maybe
make
we'll
sure
get
to also like and subscribe while you comment.
Yeah, and hit that bell. Don't hit the bell. We don't care about the bell.
If I forgot questions, let me know. I'm so sorry. I'll ask them next episode.
He's awful. He does this all the time. He's like that.
People have listened to the podcast and
Yeah.
been like, "It's good that you know you're forgetful," and I'm like,
Oh.
"What?"
Yeah, sure.
At least he's
but,
aware.
you know,
Like,
better than
he forgot.
What do you
that.
mean it's good that I know?
It's
Like,
good. At least you have awareness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's something. It's
Yeah.
better than
It's better than
you
nothing.
know not knowing you're forgetful, forgetting you're forgetful.
I'm what? Okay, last set of questions, and I saved these because these are coming from, to me, one of our most valuable fans, Smeggies, who I don't know if you guys watch on YouTube, but she is one of our most frequent commentators. She always
yeah.
comments on the YouTube videos, says how she feels about the episode, and I really love that feedback. It's so great to see and hear how she vibes with the episode, how much she enjoys it. And so she posted some comments at the end of one of our recent episodes with some questions. And it's funny because of all the questions we got, these were the most wow, these are kind of deep.
All right, let's see him.
Yeah.
You mean pizza or board games
Pizza.
or video games wasn't deep?
Dude, when we got
Pull
that
it
question,
down.
I'm like, why do they want us to?
Let me actually check and make sure I haven't posted questions in the cord while you're
Yeah, for sure.
prefacing this.
But I think some of these we may have touched on, but I think is still good to reiterate, which is why did we decide to start a podcast? Why are we doing this? And how long do you think you see yourself continuing to do it? So I guess this is a question that the first part I guess I'm most suited to answer because I was the one who really pushed and wanted this. Obviously the boys were down, but for me it was because a couple things. One is I had moved to Portland, and a lot of my close friends, especially Luke and Eric, we had kind of had the benefit of going to college together, living together for a year after that, and then I went to Portland. But then also COVID happened, and so we also had the privilege, in a weird sense, it was a silver lining of hanging out a lot online anyway, because everyone was stuck at home. So everyone had to hang out online, and the distance didn't matter as much. But then now, as things are reopening, it's one of those things where it's harder to find dedicated time. Luke and Eric are very important to me, and I want to be able to spend time with them. And another thing is just sometimes you're hanging out online, and it's very bare bones. You're just hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Yeah, ready to watch shows? Oh yeah, you want to play games? And there's nothing wrong with that. That is a lot of fun. But some of the times it's nice to have a change of pace and force yourself to have a more involved conversation, put a little more effort into the interaction, which actually ties into another one of these questions, which is, do you find that you talk about things differently knowing you're speaking to an audience? And I think the answer is yes and no, where it's a 50-50.
Oh yeah, I think, I don't know. There was a very clear shift as soon as we started recording.
Yeah.
From we were just talking.
Yeah.
And then the camera turned on, and got a little different.
You do
Which
talk
I
differently.
picked up on it. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys did.
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, to answer that kind of latest question, I would say for me the way I change the way that I talk is if I'm talking to a group of people, end of the day, right?
Yeah.
It's not so much the theatrics of it. It's if I was talking about a story or retelling a story in front of a group of people, a group of friends who haven't heard before, same thing pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I'll be a little more fun with some things, but beyond that, it's kind of the same as far as that goes for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's more like talking to a group. It's a little less just bantery. We still banter, but you can't do those same kinds of inside jokes where you're just oh, you remember that time? We do sometimes, but even then, we try and explain it. You give context. There's a different notion there. There's also just the fact that you're there's a 3, 2, 1 go button, and it's kind of a break from just natural conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
I think starting is always the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Because you're going from yeah, okay, how's things setting up? Oh yeah, we're doing this. Oh man, wouldn't it be so funny if you're like this? Into all right, and go.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting experience in that sense. But I think as we've done it more, as we go on, I feel I'm just talking more and more normally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like, so that's why it's like half and half, right?
I mean, those of you who know us can probably tell if we sound different
Yeah, that's true.
when we're here versus talking to you all.
That makes sense. It's like, wow, Luke is so well adjusted on the podcast.
Like, I would say it's not too much different than like.
The RRL just like,
No, I mean, like, I'd say it's not so much different than, like, when I'm talking to you guys and being my full gremlin mode as opposed to, like, I'm talking, like, in public at work.
That's
right?
true.
It's, like, a more collected version of myself to some extent.
Yeah, he's toning down the gremlinness.
I feel like I'm kind of about the same here.
I feel like we're honestly pretty similar. It's just, you know, you catch people at different moments and at different energy levels
Yeah.
and different
Yeah.
topics.
Yeah.
To me, it honestly feels pretty similar. Like, this is how I wish a lot of my conversations with friends would go, where people are all, like, engaged and you're just kind of, like, flowing, like, naturally from topic to topic. Obviously, sometimes for the pod, we want to, like, prepare some things, or we have, like, stories we want to, like, talk about because they were funny. But I think overall, it's, like, it's a good blend.
Like, yeah, we have our set, like, oh, here's some topics, but I think we only follow those topics, like, 25% of the time.
I mean,
Because, like, we need to follow the topics
25% of
more.
the time is me and Teva bringing up stuff. The 75% of the time is you bringing up stuff.
Eric's like, yeah, we don't really follow the topics. Post nothing in
Yeah,
the topics.
exactly. Yeah.
And that's what happens when you have a EDHD as
Well, I mean, even for these questions, like, I loved having the questions and having, like, a structure, but, like, half the episode is probably us, like, bantering off, like, the initial question and,
Yeah,
like, not even
yeah.
talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't just answer the question, we like, talk about it. So, yeah, it's definitely different, but also, like, I think that's, like, another reason to podcast is you get a different kind of conversation. And, like, I don't know if I'm just narcissistic or something, but, like, I'll listen back to the episodes and I'll be like, oh, this is kind of nice to, like, just have going on in the background. And obviously it's like, yeah, like, I know you guys and I agree with what we're saying.
Yeah.
But it's, like, it's sometimes, like, entertaining for sure.
Also, don't mind me as I creep in a little closer towards you.
Yeah,
as
feel
well.
free.
We
Sun-
timed this pretty well.
we
The
timed
sun's
this
coming
pretty
in
well.
right when we thought it
Yeah,
would.
dude.
Yeah.
If it shines on Eric's face, that means we cut. But no, we're actually really good on time. The last thing, how long do you think you'll carry this on for? And then where do you think the future of this project will head towards?
I mean, I think for me, the biggest thing is I'll do it until you decide we don't.
Yeah,
much.
that's a good way to put
To
it.
me, yeah, it's kind of like indefinitely, and it will. I think the thing that, like, the reason to stop would be things elsewhere in life change, and people just can't commit the time or energy,
I
or
think we
people
can
aren't in the
always
right
manage
place.
That is the big thing, right? And like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
end of the day, it's something we were doing amongst friends, so I'll always kind of make time for that whenever possible.
I mean,
And
yeah.
you know, like beyond that, like where it goes in the future, I would say, I mean, it'd be cool. Like, I would love to have people outside of like the friend groups enjoy it, because I think for me, I do take pride in doing what I do and being good at what I do. And if that, in this particular case, is entertaining friends and getting things along that, if I can entertain other people beyond that, that would be awesome as well too. Like I said, so if people outside of that can enjoy it, that would be cool. But end of the day, like, it's still us having some avenue to hang out with friends, and that's what I really appreciate as well. So.
I agree. I definitely didn't start this with the intention of, like, having it, like, necessarily need to expand. Like, we're not trying to make money off this. That's not the goal. It's just a fun activity to do. But if people derive entertainment from it, I'm all for it. And in terms of, like, how long, like, to me, yeah, it's like indefinitely until it stops being, like, fun, or like, it's just one of those things where you kind of do something long enough, and at a certain point you, like, all kind of come together and you're like, are we really getting enough out of this? Like, is this something, like, we enjoy doing?
Are we still funny?
Guys, are we still funny? Like, dude,
Nah,
have we peaked? Are we
Pretty
washed?
much, man, right? It's
No,
just
yeah.
like a matter of like, yeah, like if I don't enjoy something, I'm not gonna force myself to do it.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, that's upfront. Like if I don't enjoy it, I'll be like, hey man, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, this is what we pretty much did. Like whenever we'd finish watching shows over in San Diego, we'd just huddle around the dinner table and just talk about things. It was pretty much what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like anime, but like based, or just like tangent off into other things as well too. So not
Yeah.
too different. And I really, really enjoyed those times where we were able to force Luke to stay an hour past his bedtime. Like he's just sitting there on the corner brushing his teeth, listening to us talk, and we're just talking about random shit, you know.
So I think that's, like, a couple of interesting things that, like, I'd like to get done or happen in the future. One is have more, like, friends and people who enjoy the podcast, because it's like Teva and Friends podcast. Y'all are also the friends. maybe if you know.
Well, we're the Tevas and
Yeah.
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else is the friends.
So far, it's really just been the Teva podcast.
The Teva podcast. It's Teva. Yeah.
Mhm.
But like we'd love to have people on who want to be on and like would enjoy being on. I think that's like really cool to have guests come on. And then the other thing is like we're really fortunate to know people who like know stuff about like filming and like producing things and like actually work in like production. There could definitely be like interesting specials we could do, like the Boba Summit is one that's
Boba
been in my head. The
Summit.
Boba Summit.
Teva and friends, but in space.
But in space, yeah. It's like literally like, you know, obviously we're like just casually doing this. It's not gonna be super high production, but we could definitely do like a fucking milk tea tier list video, and that would be enjoyable. Just like things that are like, it would be a fun activity to do with friends anyway, and the like making it into like a longer lasting content that we would enjoy anyway. And it's like
a Neopets tournament.
yeah, like a Neopets tournament is just like, it's something fun for us, and you want to make it such that when you go back and look at it, you basically have that footage and that memory anyway. I think is where I see like future things going.
Yeah, I think it's just nice to make something that my friends enjoy.
Yeah.
And I really like reading the weekly comments we get.
Yeah.
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 So, I mean, comments are always
Yeah.
welcome.
If you
And
thought
those
something,
likes.
dude, we get some likes. We got some likes. We got some views.
I like your
But yeah.
I want to shamelessly like our videos.
But yeah, if like anything like stood out to you, like please like comment, even if it's like just one sentence or like anything like.
Like Teva's fly was open this entire time. You know, please let us know.
Yeah, Eric dropped his pocket.
God. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, half the fun is engaging with these guys, but half the fun is also engaging with our friends. So yeah, I don't think we have any more questions. This was like a really cool in-person thing to do. Anything else you want to say to our lovely viewers?
I feel like I had something and I forgot it.
What about
Oh,
you?
you'll hear it next time on the next episode of.
Yeah, we don't have anything to bait you with. Hopefully this episode was funny and you enjoyed it and you'll watch the next one.
Yeah, and I hope those of you who confused me and Eric will not do that.
Oh my god, you
anymore.
told them the T. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Luke, Eric.
Yeah.
There we go.
If that wasn't obvious from the beginning and from the get-go.
People who've never seen your faces.
No. I think that's really funny. Like the concept of like them just listening and they see us and they're like, "What?
What?
What?
Yeah.
Did we look like what
Comment
you-
below
Yeah,
who you think is
comment.
who's Eric.
Did you
No.
think we look like how you thought we look like?
They literally have pictures of your like.
Yeah, but
But even then,
still,
it's
even
different.
then,
yeah.
We're much
Yeah.
prettier on, screen.
I wouldn't say that.
Damn. Well, I
Those
know who's
photos actually
not
were
gonna
pretty
be Iron
good.
Man.
Yeah.
oh
yeah.
man.
All right. Well, take it
Alright.
easy, y'all. This has been fun. We're gonna go get food.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
starving and I'm about to burn.
I know.
so-
I know. Yeah. You see that?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in frame, but there's the sun.
He's toasting.
All right.
Later.
Let's go. Goodbye, everyone.
Ooh.